What a great year to be a Tuners fan. And really, who isn't a Tuners fan? They're awesome. And Mattel clearly agrees. They released every single one of them this year, all four, but this time, new from Thailand with flames. Obviously, they all did come out before in the mid-2010s with flames, as you can see here. But now, being made in Thailand, they're all variants, they're all slightly different, and that's why we've been reviewing them all year. With Snot Rod here being the last one out of Case M to be released. They started with DJ, actually no, that's wrong. They started with Wingo in Case E, DJ Case F, Boost Case G, so that's 3 in a row, and then they took a bunch of cases off, saving arguably, often regarded Snot Rod the best of the tuners. And, funny enough, he's actually not one of the imported ones from Japan. But yeah, Snot Rod's great. I think in terms of the flame variants, he looks the best because the flames don't come out the back. So they're a lot more noticeable. So yeah, guys, very excited to get into this video today. Like I said, came out of Case M, which we just unboxed. I'll leave the link for that in the description below and card suggestion in the top right-hand corner. The case also included a couple other new releases like Byron Crashforth and GRC Cruz Ramirez, who we will be reviewing soon. And Many Freunderbender, the Tacoman crew chief, was not in the half version of the case, sadly, but I will be getting her soon and we will review her as well, so no worries there. And yeah, it's all good because Snot Rod, he might even be better than Mandy in some people's eyes. I'm not saying I agree with that, but I am very pumped to get into this Thailand variant review. The artwork looks great. I love how Snot Rod looks there, kind of smirking, looking off to his side with the flames coming out of the exhaust there. If this was just regular Snot Rod, that burst of flames would not be there. So this is technically artwork that corresponds directly to Snot Rod with flames, not just Snot Rod. Like if you go back to 2020 when Mattel released all 4 of these guys as singles, no flames. And same applies to the other 3. They kind of photoshopped like a beam coming out of their rears. But yeah, it's actually really cool. 2020, they did all 3. That was their first time from Thailand. Here we are 4 years later doing all 4 again, but now with flames. My only complaint here, and you guys already know, oftentimes these days with variants, they do not actually specify on the name tag, whatever you want to call it. It's not really a tag anymore, that it is a variant. They just call it by the usual, Snot Rod, right? Or Miles Axe Rod, or Ramon. And they're leaving off with flames, which kind of sucks because a lot of times, they'll do it properly. Whether it be Tumbleweed Lightning McQueen, whether it be Heyday Smokey. They have done that. I think Miles Axe Rod with Open Hood got that treatment. So it's just some of those more obscure variants of Miles Axe Rod with microphone and all the tuners here with flames. So that's my only complaint, but everything else looks really good. And yeah, if you guys don't remember, and we can get into this more later, but there were 2 variants of Snot Rod with flames back when he was released first from China in 2013. An opaque flame version, which was super rare, and then the transparent flame version, which was a lot more common, and how they proceeded in the future. The Thailand one here looks to be a little bit of a hybrid, and like I said, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But if you have an opaque version, it's very rare, and it's very interesting because it's just, it doesn't really look right. It looks kind of like orange juice bursting like anti-gravity out of his exhaust pipe. Very strange, right? Very weird. But anyways, on the card back here, you see as seen in Cars 1, and some really iconic classics here. Mater with Sign, Cactus McQueen. I mean, these 2, Cactus McQueen and Corey Turbowitz, were in that Walmart 8 from 2007, so I love seeing them together. You have Brush Kerber, Aiken Axler, or as they're calling him now, Alan Aiken Axler, and then of course the main attraction here, Many Freunderbender. I will say, seeing her with all these more nostalgic, iconic Cars 1 characters is a little jarring. Like, she doesn't really look like she fits, and maybe that's because she actually doesn't appear in the movie. Maybe I'm just not used to it yet, but yeah, I mean, that would technically be a Cars 1 release. I understand that, but it just doesn't really feel like she fits in with everyone else here on the back. But I am glad that they updated the card back to properly reflect that she's in this case. So, if you find Snot Rod, you might find Mandy as well. Well, if you, are with the half case, then no. But, if your store got a full case in. So you're not at Walmart, that's for sure, I can tell you that. But all right, anyways, I'll be right back with Snot Rod all opened up. Here is Mr. Rod all opened up, looking really good. I'm a huge fan of the expression so far. There he is in Cars 1. Obviously, multiple times in the movie he appears. Multiple times he sneezes and thus the flames emerge. So I'm going to maybe show a couple instances there, depending on how the website cooperates. But yeah. Yeah, the expression looks really good, pretty accurate to how he looks in the movie, just, staring right down the middle there. Don't know how he looks around the blown engine, but we're going to just kind of not worry about that. But yeah, here we have the Chinese version of Snot Rod with Flames. Let's take a look at when this guy was made exactly. The old style date stamp here, 1763, so the 176th day of 2013. I do think he was in like case H. Pretty sure he's released with like Francesca. It was either Francesca or Franca. I think it was Francesca, and Victor Pavillon was also in that case. So I don't know how I remember that. I remember I was looking like crazy for the case though. It was a really good case. It was, toward the end of the year, like maybe summer, and God, I wanted them so bad. My mom was driving me all over the place, even to some sketchy neighborhoods, I remember. We made it out though. But we didn't find them until, I think, Toys R Us. And I was like digging through the case. They had just sitting on the floor. I'm pretty sure an employee yelled at me that day. I was like, no, I'll peg them all. Like, I'll put them all on the shelf. And she's like, all right, whatever. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was when I found this case. But yeah, damn, I was 12 years old. That was way back in the day. Wow, that's crazy. That's alarming to think how long ago this guy was released. But anywho, getting back to the matter at hand here, you can see that they kind of lightened up the engine. It's a little bit of a brighter gray now. I'm not a big fan of how they do the engine these days anyways. It just looks super plasticky and a little cheap compared to back in the day. Like here you have the 2009 impound Snot Rod. That's a lot more of a gunmetal silver, so it just looks a little bit better and makes them look a little bit more realistic. But they did away with that a while ago, and it's not a Thailand thing. Like here is just this is probably like the 2016 version of Snot Rod. Let's see here. Yeah, it could very well be 351st day of 2015. And yeah, they converted the engine over to a very, very, very white, pale color. Fortunately, we've kind of gone away from that a little bit. We darkened up on these ones, even though, yeah, this came out after this, but the Thailand version darkened it slightly. Still not really where we want to be with it, though. Yeah, the expressions are pretty much the same, especially the mouths there, all puckered up. And yeah, the eyes, same kind of like idea, just executed differently with Thailand's way of adding the eyeliner there, so you have that black line separating the orange from the whites of the eyes. I do have to say, I really love how the expression looks on the Chinese version here. They executed it phenomenally, and so whereas a lot of the times I'll say, oh hey, like I like this expression on the Thailand version better. I think I said that about Boost with Flames, or just even the Thailand variant of regular Boost, right? Here, I'm not so convinced of that. I don't mind that the eyes are smaller. Kind of reminds me of that one promo pic of Snot Rod where he does kind of have really small eyes. I might try and throw that pic on the screen. If not, just look it up. You guys will find it. But yeah, so I don't mind that. I don't think the expression looks bad, but I don't think it eclipses the original version here, unfortunately. All right, the wheels. I don't know, my wheel, this one looks a little messed up. There's a couple dings on it, but yeah, pretty similar. I like the 5-spoke there, red line tires looking really good. Maybe not quite as silvery as they used to be, but negligible differences. But yeah, move on to the best part here, the flames. Similar shape. They're not exactly the same shape. I feel like it's a little bit more blended together. Not as like this. This is more of an angle. This kind of sticks up a little bit more vertical. Yeah, less at an angle. But yeah, like I said, it's a hybrid of the opaque and the transparent flames. You got the opaque tips there and a little bit of a trim there on the side, which is strange. I don't know how I feel about that. And then this version is just more transparent, translucent. You could see through it. That's what that means. You could see the black line on Snot Rod through it, whereas you wouldn't be able to see through if it was this color tone throughout the entire flame. And that is how that variant I was describing looks like. It's literally this, but all over. I would say that the level of transparency, like the visibility level through this section, is a lot higher than through here. Like you can make it out, but it's not like you're looking through a window or anything. This, it does almost look like you're looking through a window. Like that is almost crystal clear looking through there, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. And we're going to compare this flame work to the other tuners flames just to kind of get an idea of how consistent or inconsistent Mattel was with these. I'm very curious to see. But yeah, speaking of opaque versus transparent, the windows here, you went from the kind of black, you could see a couple things in there, right, to now just straight opaque gray. You do have the Snot Rod text there on the black stripe, which looks pretty consistent throughout, Thailand and China. We're going to have some differences here with the license plate, though. Let's zoom in and take a closer gander. You do have the SR, which now has orange trim on the S and the slash and the R. You can kind of see it's like almost glowing. Like if you went to Microsoft Word and just add like glow edges to the text. And then, yeah, the license plate now got all that white trim. What does that say? Drag City. So I will give Mattel credit. The Drag City text is more eligible than it is more legible. How about we use correct grammar, Mr. Docketer? More legible on the Thailand version than it is on the Chinese version over here, which is very, very rare to see. That usually never happens, especially with license plates. It's a small decal. We know Mattel struggles with decals now that everything's being made in Thailand, especially small ones. Gets grainy. No, that looks really good. Looks better than the Chinese license plate. It's definitely an upgrade, so I appreciate that. I don't really care if the trim's black or white, whatever you need to do to make it more readable, and I appreciate that. So yeah, good stuff all around there. Obviously, the side is going to be the exact same. Let's take a look at this one's date stamp. Whoa, what is that? You guys see that? Like in the center there, the exhaust pipes, you have like a little transparent yellow piece. What is that? That is weird. I've never seen anything like that before. I don't understand the purpose of that, but yeah, it's almost like the same kind of material that the flames used out of. Interesting. But anyways, the date stamp is T29A, means that he was produced during the 29th week of 2024 at the A factory. But yeah, the exhaust pipes are separate pieces from the base, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, back in the day when this guy was released, one of the flame pieces was separate and you had to attach it. Obviously, they don't have to do that anymore because they can, mold the blister around, whatever kind of space they need. They could just mold it around, whereas before it was a lot more standardized, so you had to apply one of the exhaust pipes with the flame yourself. Don't really like that, you had to do that, so... Again, both of these are great. I think this is a good Thailand variant. People are going to eat this up. It's going to be one of the most popular releases of the year because it's Snot Rod. And yeah, he has flames, which is super awesome. Like, oh my God, what the hell? I cannot resist, one of the more iconic characters as it is. Now with just, what I'm going to say, bad 3-word flames. It just looks awesome. Now, let's take a look at him in comparison to a couple of the other Thailand tuners with flames here. So DJ, yeah, I mean, this is why Snot Rod with flames is so much better. He's got a couple nubbins here. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. The thing that gets me a little bit is that I don't understand why they use opaque paint on these flames, like at all. Like if they just made it look like this throughout, I think it would have been fine. But then again, they probably should have decrease the visibility of the transparency a little bit because it just looks so much like a window, like a teardrop almost. Like you can't really see all that well through those guys. But the other thing is they never used opaque paint on any of these other ones. Like maybe you can kind of argue at the base of the flames here they kind of do, but I don't know, man. These look good though. These are better than DJ's. And then you have Wingo's here, which is so thick. It's a weird looking flame. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, I don't know why they went for the opaque tips. I feel like it makes it look a little cartoony almost. Like, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about the opaque tips on the flames, I gotta stop saying opaque tips. That just, yeah, that's not the first thing that you wake up and you're like, oh my God, it's gonna be a term that I say like 4 times today. Yeah, so I'm a fan of this variant. Do I think it's better than the Chinese version? It's almost a tie. The expression's a little bit better on the Chinese version. The license plate's a lot better on the Thailand version. The engine looks maybe a little bit better color tone wise. I think the flames look better though on the Chinese version, just because it feels like they didn't know what they wanted to be. They're like, do we go transparent? Do we go fully opaque? Looking to those 2013 variants, and then they just ended up doing both, which, it's kind of like a half measure. You kind of got to commit to one. But yeah, it still looks really good, and I am excited to have it here. Adding on to, yeah, there's a whole bunch of Thailand Snot Rods now, because in 2020, we not only got regular Snot Rod, but we were very, very fortunate to get one of the best metallic releases ever, being metallic Snot Rod here, who looks incredible. This is one of my favorite metallic releases of all time. Just, it's not a color you often get to see metallicized, whatever. I love that word that I've made up. But yeah, it's like a bronze, like burnt orange. Looks really good, so I'm an enthusiast of that. Here you have my custom tarred Snot Rod. Had this guy for a while. This was your regular Snot Rod that I showed you. Your impound Snot Rod, looking very retro with that darker engine. 2009 release, that was a chase, so he's never been released and technically can't, but they've broken that rule before. And then from the Cars Fast as Lightning video game, Jet Black Snot Rod. If you didn't see my video on this guy, you might be confused on what the heck is that, Mr. Dockett. Well, hey, check out that video, linked in the description below. It's an amazing custom. The customizer Shane Cooper gave this expression. It's just like the card back expression almost. Looking off to the side there. I loved it. And yeah, great collection here of Snot Rods that Mattel has done and then added on with this beautiful custom. He also shined up the engine, which was humongous, and the exhaust pipes. All right, guys, let me know in the comment section below, who is your favorite tuner with flames? Now we have all 4 from Thailand. You can make an accurate judgment. My favorite is still going to be Snot Rod, but it's honestly not that high above Boost. I like Boost a lot as well. The other 2 I really don't care all that much for. I mean, I think they're maybe a little bit better than the Chinese ones, but marginally so. I think Boost is significantly better than the Chinese version of him, because just Thailand does Boost better, I think, with the coloring of all of his different segments there. Yeah, guys, thanks as always for watching. I'll see you soon for another video. Bye now.